Hey Diva, are you demure? You may have seen this viral trend poisoning your algorithm to act as a very cutesy, very mindful stabbing sensation that reminds you you're getting older and don't understand how social media works anymore. Being demure is being considerate of your surroundings in an understated way that automatically makes you think you're better than everyone else. However, if you want to be demure, you have to film it on social media. Otherwise, the demure becomes discreet, and everyone will just think you're being respectful for non-clout based reasons. For full demurification to take place, the demure subject has to film themselves and write a caption about how they're being very demure. But once the cameras start rolling, apathy becomes aware of itself and the ego grows self-conscious. Because when you start recording a video about how nonchalant you are, that's no longer nonchalant, that's chillant, which isn't very mindful. It's actually quite piggish. The struggle in fashion has always been a struggle of bling versus taste. Coco Chanel famously stated, "A woman should always dress as plainly as her maids," and Charlie XCX responded, imploring us all to guess the colour of her underwear. Can you come back here? Thanks. Historically, poor people always imitated the fashion of the rich, but because your socio-economic status comes preloaded with specific cultural, stylistic and taste-based contours, poor people always wore rich clothes wrong. The colours got louder and the labels became more pronounced. Fashion became a way to display wealth for people who didn't really have it, driven by a deep-seated impulse to prove to everyone you made it out of the hood. So when Gucci became ghetto, the rich had to switch up their style again to protect themselves from appearing cringe. So the rich, for the first time ever, became demure and deferential to differentiate themselves from the great unwashed. Being demure became the new form of performative status denial, a dog whistle to other rich people who also have family trees that were carried on the backs of actual slaves. Shame on you. Sitting at the edge of a rock. Demure fall arrives directly after brat summer, moving from the promiscuous to the prude, fishnets to turtlenecks, addiction issues you're trying to hide, to having a good relationship with your father, who isn't afraid to leave his wallet unattended in your presence anymore, for the fear that you'll slip a 50 to buy enough alcohol to kill a family full of people with tiny livers. Many devotees of brat summer migrated into the demure fall, even though they're stylistically opposite. Brat is very loud, demure is very mindful. Like them. What's more interesting is Gen Z's total acceptance to integrate the newest cultural trend into their personality. And thanks to the visual cultures of social media that prioritizes appearances over subject matter, we don't need to believe in the movement. There is no movement, just a moment of stasis that we're slowly forgetting as soon as we remember to hit the like button. Web 2.0 has made us liquid, suggestible to new marketing techniques, and totally malleable to whatever new internet trend wants to colonize our consciousness. Further, I'd like to add that demure fall can be seen as a satire of our grandparents' repressed emotional styles that we express through fashion as self-presentation on social media. But somewhere along the way, as the trend got more viral and more people talked about how they're demure without really understanding what the word meant, demure lost all irony and became a genuine way to consolidate gender roles. Divas suffer from the demure to despondency pipeline when their ascetic aesthetic stops feeling like a performance and they end up marrying off at the age of 22. Demure became an unintentional reconfiguration of heteronormative ideology in a really subtle shade of lipstick. Lipstick that's not doing too much. It's very demure, very mindful. 100 years ago, Christianity was the arbiter of morality and ethics that kept the population under control. But with the separation of church and state and the emergence of quasi-religious mother figures like Taylor Swift and RuPaul, morality got decentralized. Are you tapping your foot?
Yeah, I love it.
Now, instead of having one divine authority, we have multiple divas shouting their user commandments at us all at the same time. Demure has become a behaviour modification tool that we impose on ourselves. In 2024, we've become rootless, and with the fizzling away of solid structures, institutions and hope, Only a TikTok trend could mobilise us enough to care about anyone other than ourselves, even if that care is all part of the performance. And just like that, demure fall is over. Cameraman, follow me.